Let me tell you about the key to fulfilling the purpose that you have in your life. The way by which you can achieve that vision, that great big vision that you have for yourself and what you want to do while you're here. Because most of us have no idea how to walk that journey. And the reality is that every single one of us has a different journey to walk. But there's one similarity. And it struck me the other day when I was looking at the past 7 years of my life. When I first started sitting in men's circles and when I went out on my first vision quest. And for the first time in my life, I had a clear vision of what that future looked like for me when I was living my gift, when I was giving my medicine back to my community in the biggest and best way that I could. It was like my Everest, because I believe each one of us has an Everest. We have a peak that's so massive, that seems so cumbersome to arrive to achieve, that's off in the distance, but we can see it in our mind's eye. We can see it from a glance. Like if you look at a mountain range while you're standing at the bottom in the plains, the mountain peak looks really far away. It might be snow covered. It might be glistening in the sunlight. When you close your eyes, you can visualize yourself standing on that mountain peak, looking around from the top of the world. It's no different than imagining yourself 3, 5, 10 years down the road with what you've been able to achieve in that amount of time, with what you've been able to create with your masculine energy, your fire, your desire, and connection to that vision. But where most of us stumble, where most of us get stuck, is we either live too far in the future of desiring what it will be like one day when we're living that vision and standing on top of the mountain, or we get too stuck in the monotony of what's going on down below, and we have a hard time going back and forth between the two. Those of us who are very future-oriented, very vision-oriented, who live 30,000 feet from the planet and look at everything from above, are those of us who get stuck in the vision part, only thinking about what it will be like that day, only being able to connect to a future. And those of us who are more, knuckles and hands in the dirt, on the ground, in the weeds, trenching every single day to make things happen, but never lift our heads up to look around and see what's really going on. That's those of us who are too stuck in what's going on right in front of us, and we lose track of where we're going. Each one has a consequence, and the important thing is being able to dance back and forth between the two. So just imagine yourself for a second going on a hike. Imagine you're going on a hike to Mount Everest. You're going to climb up to that peak. You're going to grab all of your gear. You've packed up your bag. You've acquired everything that you need to go on this long journey, many miles, many vertical feet. Who knows what you'll encounter along the way? That's part of the excitement, but also part of the fear and the nervousness of it, isn't it? So you've got everything that you need and you start setting off on this journey. And before you take your first steps, you've got your bag on your back, you look up and you see that mountaintop again. And right before you take that first step, you remind yourself, that's what I'm doing this for. But this is how I get there. As soon as you pull your eyesight off of that mountaintop, off of that vision that's off in the distance, you look down at the ground and you see the next 10 steps in front of you. It's just like driving at night. You can't see the whole illuminated destination of where you're going. You can just see the stretch of road that your headlights are illuminating. But somehow we get there. Somehow we arrive. Somehow we find our way to the destination, to the mountaintop. At times on the journey, you need to pause, get away from looking down, to look up and make sure that you're still heading in the direction of that mountain, that mountain is still the one that you want to head towards. Because then that visualization that you can see in your mind when you close your eyes is the one that inspires and motivates you to keep chugging, even when you don't want to, especially when it's hard, when it's challenging, when you don't know what else to do. But then you come back from that vision and you focus back on what's in front of you, the next 10 steps. Because if we focus too much on the mountain, you can't get to the mountaintop by staring at the mountain peak the whole time. You'll walk off a cliff, or you'll crash into the person in front of you, or you'll lose the trail and misstep and have a hard time finding your way to where you're going. And if we only focus down on what's in front of us, then we may be going towards the wrong mountain. We may be off the trail. And we have to constantly check in with where we're going off in a distance and how we're getting there with what's right in front of us. So think about how this applies to your life. Tell me in the comments below if you're more of a head down type of person or head up in the clouds type of person. We're all oriented one way or the other. I tend to be more of a vision-oriented person, so I have to really lock in and ground myself in my actions, in making sure that what I'm doing every single day is getting me to that mountaintop. But then I got to go and take a moment to reflect and remind myself of what I'm doing it for to begin with. Where am I trying to get to? What is the destination? Because I've seen it in my mind so many times. Tell me which one of these guys you are. Are you head down or are you head up type of person? And if you are, what helps you to do the opposite? If you're a head down type of person, what helps you pick your head up to start looking around? For me, it's meditating, it's prayer, it's journaling, taking time to reflect, sometimes reading back on previous journals and checking in with that clarity I had when this vision first started to come into life. If you're a head in the clouds type of person, what helps you get more grounded? This is the rigorous, masculine, strategic side of ourselves that we can tap into. If we want to differentiate the two, vision is more feminine. It's less structured, less perpendicular, less specific, more creative, more flowy, more natural. Whereas the masculine is more grounded, strategic, perpendicular lines, formulaic in how we get there. So when you bring the two of these together in one, magic happens. So start off by identifying which kind of guy you are. Are you a head up or a head down type of person? And whatever one you have more trouble with, what helps you to do that thing? Head down, maybe you got to sit down and make some plans. Head up, maybe you got to take time to reflect, to journal, to go out into nature and wander for a bit, to connect back to why you're doing what you're doing. And if you need some help with this, reach out to me. Reach out to somebody who you know can help guide you along on this journey. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and everything else we're laying down here on our Monday morning meditations here on the YouTube Rising Man channel. If you like it, hit that subscribe button right now. What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you get these videos each and every week. And go check us out over at risingman.org for all the events we got. We got our Compass initiations, we got our Rising Man fire circles, and so much more for you guys. Stay well. Peace.
Hi,